Hi, everybody. It's Greg from Doc Sports, and we're back with Doc's Daily Tuesday, March 25th. And I got Nick with me today. No Griff. It was a long night for us here in Vegas. So for those of you on the East Coast, you guys are on the right time. So this West Coast time zone is crazy.
It's awful.
Crazy. Like, we were out till like midnight last night, you know, my body's still like 3 a.m., you know, so I am just still way behind today. But doesn't mean we don't have the winners. So I still spent a few hours this morning kind of combing over my expert plays and this too. So, Nick, I don't have any big plays today. I don't know about you. Do you have anything big today?
No big plays today, Craig. The card, it wasn't really what I was looking for. The numbers and matchups weren't really there. So we're lower volume on today's card. We have an NBA and I have an NIT game there in college basketball, but that is about it. We're going to be locked and loaded, though, for tomorrow, for Wednesday. It's a way bigger card, Craig.
Well, we have I have 3 plays today. I have a 4, 3, and 2 unit play. I wanted to find a play in the NBA. I couldn't find a play in the NBA as far as like a premium level. I do have a couple that I have leans to that we'll talk about here in a second. But the NHL, you know, like, I'm still hurting. I was celebrating with Nick. I was jumping on his back and like, going crazy with the Islanders because they scored. If you guys followed again, that was my premium 7-unit play yesterday. They scored with 8 seconds to go. I did the ultimate mistake because we weren't watching the game. We were just seeing the results on ESPN Game Tracker. And so I don't know. There's like a review going on for the goal, and they end up called goalie interference. I think it was goalie interference.
Left too. It was
so it goes to overtime. They go to shootouts and we lose. And, and we were up. We were up 2-0 in the first and gave that. But so that one hurt. And it always hurts more when you're in Vegas because, like I'm sure you're the same way, Nick, and I'm sure Griffin or any of our cappers the same way. When you're in Vegas, you bet your plays maybe just a little more. It's like, hey, I'm in Vegas. Let's juice it up a little. A few $1,000 wager now ends up a little few thousand more. So it hurt doubly. And I apologize for that loss, but we're going to have this back. We're going to get some free play winners here for you today. Now, before I do so, don't forget docsports.com/free60 to get you a free $60 account so you can test us out. Go over to that. If you're a new customer, you can get in. It's $30 per day per sport. So you can pick out any of the ones that cappers we have here on the show or any capper at Doc Sports. So make sure you get in on it. Also, if you haven't, make sure you like and subscribe. And we do have that Premium Plus for people that, don't want to maybe invest and they need, maybe you're just a $10 to $20 better. The Premium Plus is a perfect product for you because it's $49.99 a month. So you'll get the premium level of Indian Cowboy, which is usually $19.99. For an extra $30, you'll get it's about 6 plays between the two every day and that's for 30 days. So you cannot beat that. You're going to get 180 to 190 plays for $49.99. So check that. The link is in the description to get in on it. Just join in. Okay, Nick, let's kick it off in the NBA. This is the time of year where most of these teams have 10, 11. I think maybe there's one team out there I think has 12 games left. But so we're at that home stretch where teams are battling for the playoff spots. But if you look at it, it's kind of like almost all these teams are going to make it. It's just a matter of seeding. And you have a lot of teams that's resting players and not. So it's danger time, right? Do you maybe find one today that we can make a move on?
Yeah, I would still say it's a little dangerous here, my play, but we're going with the Cleveland Cavaliers -6.5 against the Portland Trail Blazers. Donovan Mitchell will be out in this game here tonight, and so will DeAndre Ayton for Portland here. While Portland, they may have a losing record right now, 32-40, but at home they're a completely different team. They're 20-17 this season at home against the spread. They're 22-15. This Cavaliers team, though, on the road, doesn't matter where they play, they still pick up wins. 27-9 on the season. The Cavs, they just played the Jazz and won that game on Sunday, 120-91. This Cavs team is currently ranked first in the NBA in points per game and 3-point field goal percentage here, but they're missing one of their best shooters in Donovan Mitchell tonight. I like this Portland Trail Blazers team. They rebound, one of the best in the NBA. They're currently ranked 3rd in the NBA in offensive rebounds. I like this Portland Trail Blazers team with the points in my back pocket. I know it's a little risky here, +6.5, but especially with the Cavs still trying to sustain first place in the East. You got the Celtics coming right behind them. I think it's 4.5 games now. So It's must-win basketball, but I like the way that this Portland Trailblazers team plays at home. I would take the points here tonight, Craig.
Well, actually, they're up maybe a little more than that. Yeah, it is 4.5 because I forgot Boston won last night. But if you look at the games remaining, Cleveland basically has to, I think their magic numbers, they need to win 5 of their last 10 games. So 50% of the games when they're winning at a 70% clip. I think both Cleveland and Boston are like, we don't need to worry about that. We're going to be the 1 and 2 seeds. It's going to be how it is. We just want to be healthy. I think that's why you see Mitchell out tonight. I'm guessing Mobley, Allen, and Garland will take their turns resting if you're the Cleveland Cavaliers. The Portland Trailblazers can't rest. They are, I believe, 1 game out, right? No, a little more than that. They're out 3 games behind Phoenix and Sacramento, I believe. So it's like they're not that far out. They really have been playing the second half of the season. If they played at all in the first half of the season, this team would be like a 7 seed, 6 seed, something like that. They just were terrible, had a lot to overcome. I think they win this game outright tonight. I really do. I kind of wanted to step out and make this my best play today. I didn't. Like I said, I passed in the NBA, which is very rare for me when there's this many games. I just didn't love any of them. I was just like, at the time when I put this, I wasn't sure Mitchell was going to be out. And then, of course, as soon as I, passed, of course, the news came out. But I think if they win, if they cover, they actually win this game. So I would sprinkle on the money line as well. Now, my free play, we're going to a different game. Oklahoma City and Sacramento. Like Oklahoma City, people still think Boston and Cleveland maybe are as good. I don't think so. I think they're the best team in the league, and I really don't think it's close. They're the best offensive team as far as efficiency, their best defense efficiency game. And what does that mean? Well, it takes into account how fast or slow teams play. Because if you say, hey, you're the best defensive team, yet you play the slowest pace in basketball, that just means you just allow the least amount of points. That's deceiving because, that's not how real life works in the NBA. You play a team that's playing fast, you might not be able to play slow. This team is good. They can switch everything. But it's like, this is a ridiculous number. 10 points, that's ridiculous. Because Oklahoma City's basically, they're at the Cleveland and Boston side where they don't really have anything to play for. You have to take the Kings plus 10 in the NBA. The Kings are right at the bottom of the playoffs as well. Like I said, Portland could overtake them. It's possible with Phoenix. Like those 3 are within 3 games. I think you take the Kings. I think they're in a must-win spot, and Oklahoma City basically can play average basketball and beat teams by 8. I think they're going to be playing a lot less starters. Let's take the big underdog here. I think you have a chance tonight to, maybe not win, but they keep this within the number. These are like the ugly underdogs, as I say this time of year, Nick. I don't know if you believe in the theory, but they're the underdog, the more 100%. I kind of like it.
100%. And look what happened in hockey too, especially yesterday. Like I said on the show, the Red Wings, boom, money line. That this time of year, especially when it gets into crunch time and people know, or teams know that where they're placed or they're not in the playoffs, I should say. You go for money dogs, and money dogs are my dog of the day. So I absolutely love it.
Yeah, I mean, it's just think about it. It's like you really have to put the books on don't lose long term. So you can't just take favorites all the time, especially this time of year when you're just like, oh, Oklahoma City's the best team. You got to play them. It's like, okay, there's this thing called point spread. The point spread equalizes everything. It takes into all the factors, and still people are going to play the favorites. They're going to play the overs and the favorites. Not saying as a handicapper, I'm sure Nick's not saying that you always take the underdog or you always take the under, because there still can be value either way. You should probably be about 50-50, but most people are not 50-50 when it comes to betting favorites to underdogs. It's just not the case. This is one of those, the uglier, I always say, hold your nose, close your eyes games. This is one of them. There's another game, I think that today, I think this Orlando-Charlotte game, Orlando, big win last night, big. They beat the Lakers at home. They're playing a Charlotte team that's not good. Now that they're in back-to-back spot, everybody and their brother is going to be like, Orlando, Orlando, Orlando.
Yep.
This, I stayed away.
Miles Bridges is in too tonight for Charlotte. So
I was like, dude, this is another of the 2 uglier ones. I like the other one a little better, but this one's if you ever were going to have a letdown spot, if you're the Orlando Magic, it's after you beat LeBron James and Luke. It wasn't like those 2 didn't play; they played.
Exactly.
So anyway, Let's talk a little college hoops. Do you have any leans on this NIT games for today?
I have a play on the premium side in the North Texas and Oklahoma State, but we could look at the Bradley game.
Yep.
As Bradley, they're -3.5 favorites in this one, and they're playing here Chattanooga. I would absolutely lay it with Bradley. I think they're the much better team here, and they're getting ready to advance and play in that championship round in the NIT. So I would definitely lay the points with Bradley. They're 28-8 on the season here. They finished second in the Missouri Valley Conference. I would definitely lay the points tonight. That's my lean, Craig.
This was my premium play for today. 3 units on the total in this one. So like the side, like these are tough teams. Bradley is really good. I think Bradley beat Drake this year, if I remember right, or it was really close. This team can really shoot the ball from outside. Like, so it's like if Chattanooga's going to win, they haven't been great on defense. They're going to have to stop the 3-point shot from Bradley, especially at home. They shoot the ball. So that'll be an interesting game. I like the other game as a little free play action here for you guys. North Texas. Like, I think people overvalue what I call the bottom of the big conferences. Oklahoma State is the bottom of the Big 12, by the way. Just so if you don't know, like, that's clear.
Yeah.
And I can say that because the Bearcats, my team, is in the conference, and they were right beside them. They lost to Oklahoma State once, by the way, at Oklahoma State. But I think people don't realize how good, like, the top of the level of other conferences is, and that's the case in this one to me. Like, I think North Texas, they played right with Memphis. They played right with Wichita State, with Temple,
UAB.
and I'm trying to think, UAB, and there's one other thing. Yeah, mm-hmm. So, like, they played right with those guys all year long. A couple wins here and there. Their defense is elite. Not like St. Mary's elite, because St. Mary's plays at a lower pace. They play a little faster than that, but I like North Texas today, money line. I think they're just like this means something to them. I don't know how much it means to an Oklahoma State guy that's probably, let's be honest, if you're from these like the bottom of the conference, you probably have your name ready to go into the portal. You're worried about the NIL. You're worried about, North Texas is like, this is kind of their Super Bowl. They're on television. I mean, it's like, let's take North Texas today. I think they win. I think it's a lower scoring game as well. So if you maybe same game parlay, sprinkle a little bit on the under and North Texas. All right.
Like I said, I got to play, but
you got a premium play on this one, right?
With everything you're saying there, Craig, let's just put it that way.
Yeah. Read between the lines. So let's, we're not going to be a full 30 minutes. I should have said that at the beginning today because I'm going to be honest. We're a little banged up. I'm drinking water today. I haven't got my breakfast. Here's the worst thing. At 1 o'clock, when we do the show, East Coast time, you're usually noon in Chicago. Like, I've already had my brunch or lunch, depending on what I have for the day. I've already, I've done videos. I've already done all this. It's like, dude, I just freaking rolled out of bed.
I know.
Mike was working. This is a much tougher. I know you guys on the West Coast do this on a regular. I don't know how you do this time. I just don't. Like, and I am a Vegas veteran. I've probably been here thousands of days. I've had a Vegas place for out of the last 15 years, 11 of the last 15 years. I've had a place in Vegas. So I'm out here all the time. It's just, man, when the first 2 days you get here, it's absolutely brutal. Let's talk NHL though, because hey, I believe he's not here, but the steak dinner was won. There was an argument yesterday on the under in the Dallas and
the Minnesota Wild.
Yeah.
11.5.
It went 3-0, 2-0?
3-0. Dallas won that game. Yep.
So easy under yesterday. Steak dinner for Nick from Griffin. We also hit the Detroit Red Wings at like plus 135 or something, right? Plus 140.
Yeah, 140. I think 140. It was plus 140 when I looked at it.
So I don't want to put the pressure on you today.
No pressure.
Do we get another underdog?
This is what we live for, and we're going right back to a dog here. We got the Ottawa Senators and Buffalo Sabres. Senators, they're coming off a nice win against the New Jersey Devils there on the road, 3-2, while the Sabres, they played against the Jets in their last game, and they scored 5 goals against Hellebuyck. Hellebuyck averages 1.99 goals allowed per game. So the Sabres, their offense, it's going right now. Yes, in their last 10 games, they're 4-6. Ottawa, they're 7-2-1 in their last 10 games here. But I like this dog here at home with the Buffalo Sabres to get the job done over the Ottawa Senators here tonight, Craig.
I kind of looked at this game twice because there's two teams I like playing at home because I feel like I've always given my underdog. Buffalo and Columbus. They're both just completely different teams at home. So it always I always when they're playing, I always look to that game and be like, all right, is this a chance I can play them as an underdog? Ottawa has been playing better, and I believe Ottawa, should be favored, but I think this is maybe a little heavy on the price. Just a little, I thought it was more like 150 to 145 it should have been. So I think you get a little edge there if you like playing the underdog there tonight. I do have a little free play for you. At least tell me what you think in this one. Tampa Bay and Pittsburgh. I like Pittsburgh plus the 1.5. You get them plus 1.5 at basically even money. Pittsburgh hasn't been playing terrible. They've won five of their last 7 games. And, for those of you guys who don't know, in hockey and baseball, 1-run games or 1-goal games is how most games end. So if you're getting plus 1.5, which means as long as you lose by 1, you're okay. You still win your bet. It's almost always, if you're going to play what I call, the run line or the puck line, I like to play the plus number because you're just the stats back it up. And this is the case. I think Tampa Bay is just a letdown spot. They're way better than Pittsburgh. They're going to win the game. I just think it's a one goal game. And as long as we can avoid, the worry is the empty netter late. That's always in baseball, you don't get that. You don't get the empty netter late. That's just a different story.
Ninth inning, no bet, ninth inning. Shout out over there. But no, because if the Pittsburgh Penguins score and you have that plus 1.5, you're already getting now plus 2.5. So if they come out and they score first, that's a very good risk to reward, if you want to say it. If they score first, and then you got plus 2.5 in your back pocket there, and then you're just hoping that the Tampa Bay Lightning don't score too many goals. They're averaging right now 3.4 goals per game. They're coming in second right now. They play really good at home. They're 24-8 on the season. And then Pittsburgh, they play better at home than they do on the road. But I like this dog price with the plus 1.5 here.
Do you ever, when I'm in Vegas, especially if I'm sitting at a sports book, I'll in-game bet more than I will anywhere else, of course. But I sometimes like playing the plus 1.5. And then if it gets up, I play money line because I'm getting basically money line at, instead of minus 250 or whatever it is, probably going to get money. If, that's a big if, Pittsburgh score first. Then if they win by 1, I win both bets.
Yeah.
And it's, I don't you can't make a living doing that because, well, first of all, you got to have the underdog score first to be able to do it. So it doesn't happen, because the favorite team's better, and they're at home usually. It's much tougher, but that's just something if you like to kind of play in games, it's a nice little angle because, sometimes people are hedging basically, or they're just trying to middle games.
Right.
If they're in-game betting, which isn't a terrible, arbitrage betting. It's just not a terrible way to go. It's hard to make money though, because you're just making pennies on your dollar instead of when you try to double dip, which is you're in-game something. And if the right team wins by 1, you actually win both times.
Right. So you're hoping for overtime in that scenario. And then the money line winner in overtime.
Well, I guess you could lose if Pittsburgh would win, but probably, like I said, it's minus 110. I see some minus 108s out there at the plus 1.5. So sometimes you can even get a plus number, you lay the minus 1.5 and you're getting it at plus 115. Those are even better case scenarios because then you get, the juices in your favor too. So it's oh, well, if the other team wins, I still am going to make just a little bit. So anyway, that's just a little nugget out there. I got one question here because, in the NHL today, I'm going to be honest. There was just one game I loved. It's out as my 4-unit play. But there was this other game, Nashville and Carolina. Carolina's minus 280. They're the better team. They're 9-1 the last 10 games. How do you make money in a game like this? Because I don't see Carolina losing. And I don't know if Nashville would keep a plus, even the plus 1.5.
I would honestly look at the total in this game. It's sitting at 5.5 here. And while Carolina has been scoring goals, they're averaging 3.2 goals per game, which is currently 8th best here in the NHL. Granted, Nashville doesn't typically score that much on the road, but if they get 1 or 2, I think Carolina wipes them up tonight and scores on Saros in net for Nashville there.
Do you like the over?
Yeah, over for sure.
Okay, over. Both of these teams have been on a little under tear.
Yep.
I think just 3 games of the last 10 for Nashville's gone under, so I think that's why you're getting a little breakage on the price here. So I always say be careful when you follow trends like this. I don't know about you, Nick, but like you see everybody has these numbers now. It used not to be this way. 10
Correct.
years ago, like before the legalization came across the U.S., us experts had all the numbers and the stats and the trends, and the average person, it just took too much for them to get it. So that's why they came to us. Now everybody has it, so it almost goes the opposite, that you have to be careful when you follow these trends where, oh, well, this team's only went over 3 of their last 10 games. Oh, it's going to be an under game. And it's like you don't dig into okay, well, who did they play? Which goalie was in, especially for hockey. That the whole goalie thing, where they like rest goalies is just, it's like, I get it when you're on a back-to-back, but it's like, well, he's played 5 games in a row. Well, it was over the last 9 days. Like the dude's had days off. But you get that, and you have to follow this. And, Nick is way more into hockey than I am. It's something that the goaltender matters like tremendously. By far, it's the starting pitching of baseball. It's like the starting pitcher, or even if you like to play, a lot of people, experts like to play the bullpens as well to figure them in. Like the pitching matters more than anything. And that's the goalie. And people don't dig down and say, okay, well, who was in the goal when they actually went over? Well, that was the backup goalie for Vegas or whoever. So that's why you follow a guy like Nick. He has all that knowledge and spits it out for you in an easy play every day. And you got what unit play today?
Just a 3-unit play today in the NHL.
3-unit play. So just because we don't have, and when we talk about big plays, by the way, just the PSA announcement, we say big play alerts, like doesn't mean we don't have a play. If we say we don't have a bid that we don't like, it's just less. It means that you should bet the game less than maybe another play. But they all add up. It would be like investing in the stock market. And it's like, okay, you have $1 million and maybe you have half of it in something very safe. Then you have another 100,000 in something a little riskier, but that has a big upside. That's the 2, 3, 4 unit plays. They have the big upside because you're not risking a lot. Usually, these still going to hit. Our plays are going to hit anywhere from 57 to 65% over the long term. They might be closer to like the 57 to 60%. That's still profitable long term. So, sometimes people just buy the big plays and they miss out on like runs because they miss out on like the daily NHL. But you don't have to do that. You can get it for $99 a week or $30 a day, and that'll get you all levels of play for that individual sport. So make sure you check them out. Okay, great having you in, Nick. We'll be back again tomorrow. We're gonna like and subscribe, but don't forget, this is 10 o'clock Vegas time, which 10 o'clock Vegas time is like, might as well be 6 o'clock in the morning on the East Coast as far as what I'm concerned.
I'll make sure to go to bed a little earlier tonight. That's for sure.
Yeah, Nick and I are going to meet up because I'm hoping he's going to help me root home my NHL play. I hope he has it. Let's just say it's a team from this town.
Love it. Love it.
So hopefully we'll go to a night's bar tonight and maybe be cheering on with the fans. That will be fun. But Nick, I'll see you later today. Rest of you guys, will see you tomorrow. Don't forget, get in on our best plays. Go over to docsports.com/free60 if you need, if you're a new customer, to try us out. If not, go to the grid and get in on our top plays today. Nick has a little play in college basketball, a little play in the NHL, and an NBA play, right?
Yep.
Yeah. So there you go. All right. Take it easy, guys. We'll see you again tomorrow.